Hi GOR, this is Unit 1, Lesson 4, and today we're going to set up some equations and use algebra to solve for some missing angles and sides. So basically we're going to take all of that vocab that you learned and use it to solve some problems. So the first example in the do now, we have in A, we're going to use this diagram off to the right. I want to name an angle supplementary to HZJ. So angle HZJ, I'm going to highlight right here, is this angle that I highlighted in yellow. And I want an angle that's supplementary to it. Remember, supplementary angles add up to 180 degrees. So this is where that vocab comes in, that you need to know what each word means. So if I want an angle that is supplementary to HZG, remember supplementary angles are 180, they form a line. So like this is a line right here. So an angle that's supplementary to HZG could be this angle that's next to it, angle JZF. So together those form a line, so that would be one possibility, angle JZF. And they want me to provide the reason. I know that they are supplementary because they form a line, so therefore they equal 180 degrees. Now another possibility, that answer is fine, but some of you might have said, well, what about this angle right here, angle HZG that I have in green? Because together these two angles also form a line. If you think of that line as being right here, those two angles form a line also, so that would be another acceptable answer. Okay? Now in B, I want to find an angle that's complementary. Let me just erase that. So I want complementary to HZJ. So complementary HZJ. So again, that same angle HZJ. So now I got to remember what complementary means. Complementary are two angles that equal 90 degrees. Well, how do I know what they equal? A line is easy because you can see a line. How do I know that they equal 90 degrees? Well, if you look at this symbol right here, it's kind of small, but that symbol right there means that this angle, AZF, is 90 degrees. If this is 90 degrees, that means this side is also 90 degrees because together they form this nice line right here. So HZG is part of it, and I would just need the other part. So I'll do that in orange, AZJ. So angle AZJ, because together those form a AZJ. Together those form 90 degrees. Okay, so angle AZJ, the orange one, and angle HZJ together equal 90 degrees. How do I know that? Because of that perpendicular symbol that I have. All right. Name an angle congruent to angle HZJ. Remember that vertical angles are congruent. So I just need to find an angle that is vertical. So if I look right here, I'm finding an angle that's vertical. This angle right here is HZJ. This one right here is opposite. Remember, vertical angles are formed by two intersecting lines. So there's one line. Here's another line. So these two angles on either side are vertical angles. So angle FZG is a vertical angle. Okay, so those are the types of things that we're going to look for on our pictures. You can see how the vocabulary, we need to know what that vocabulary means. But let's try and set up some equations that we're actually going to solve. So in my first problem, I have angle PQT. So PQT, you can actually take it and sort of highlight it. PQT is right there. PQT is 3x plus 47. And then my next angle is angle SQR. So SQR is right here in yellow, and SQR is 6x minus 25. Now I don't have any vocab words like supplementary or vertical or complementary, but looking at the picture, these are in fact vertical angles. They're opposite each other. So since they're vertical angles, they are equal to each other. So vertical angles are congruent. So I'm going to take those two angles, 3x plus 47, and set it equal to 6x minus 25. Now when I'm solving, I can't have x's on both sides, so I'm going to subtract 3x from the left and I have 47 equals 3x minus 25. I'm solving for x, so I'm going to add 25 to get rid of that 25. And I'm going to have 72 equals 3x. To get x by itself, I'll divide by 3. I'm doing this one out because I know you probably haven't done equations in a while. So x is 24. I want to find the measure of angle SQR though. So angle SQR is 6x minus 25, and now I know x is 24. So 6 times 24 minus 25. And you can put that right into your calculator. It is 119 degrees. So those are the kinds of problems that we're going to be doing here. My next problem, number 2. AB is perpendicular to CD. Perpendicular means that they form right angles. So this right here is a right angle. Angle DCE, which is this top one right here, DCE. Okay, DCE is 7x plus 2. And angle ECB, which is this one right here on the bottom, right next to it, is x plus 8. Together, since those lines are perpendicular, AB is perpendicular to CD. That's a right angle right there. So that means that they equal 90. So I'm going to add the angles this time and set them equal to 90. All right, so this is the key right here, that they're perpendicular. The lines are perpendicular, so they form right angles. Now these x's are on the same side, so 7x plus 1x is 8x, and the 2 and the 8 are on the same side. Anytime they're on the same side, you're just going to combine those together. Now I'm solving for x, so I'm going to subtract 10. All right, and to get x by itself, I'll divide by 8, and x equals 10. And I want to find angle DCE. Angle DCE is 7x plus 2, and x is 10. So 7 times 10 plus 2 is 72 degrees. All right, so that's what we're going to do. We're just going to practice a few more on the next page. If you want to pause the video and you want to try and do them and then see if you do them right, we're going to do things like complementary and angles that form a line or an angle bisector. So if you want to try them on your own, you certainly can. If you want to just watch the video and do them together, you can do that as well, and then you'll be trying some for homework. So we just have 4 more on the next page. So on this next page, I have angle KNM. And if you have a highlighter and you want to highlight so you can see, KNM is 8x minus 5. So that angle is 8x minus 5. And angle MNJ is right next to it that I just highlighted in orange, is going to be 4x minus 19. Now there's no words there telling me anything about these angles, but if you're looking at the picture, you can see that those angles together form a line. The yellow one and the orange one together, those angles form a line, so therefore they are a linear pair. 2 angles that form a line, and you should have the number 180 in your head. Okay, so a linear pair are 2 angles that form a line, so you're going to take those 2 angles, the 8x minus 5 and the 4x minus 19, and you're going to add them and set them equal to 180. Okay, so this is the geometry part, and then the rest of it's really just algebra. I'm adding 8x and 4x. I'm combining negative 5 and negative 19, and I'm just solving. So I'll add 24, 12x equals 204. I divide by 12, x equals 17. Now always go back and look at the problem. Sometimes they just want you to find x. Other times you have to, whoops, I went too far. Other times you actually have to find an angle. So in this case, I need to find angle KNM. So now that I know x is 17, I'm just going to substitute that in. KNM is 8x minus 5, so 8 times 17 minus 5, and you can do this all in a calculator is fine. Okay, next problem. R and S are complementary. Complementary, the number that you should have in your head is 90. So R and S together equal 90. So I'm just going to take R, which is 12x minus 3, and I'm going to take S, which is 7x minus 2, and I'm going to set them equal to 90. Okay, so I'm going to add those together. The 12x and the 7x is 19x. I'm going to combine the -3 and the -2 is -5. I'm going to add 5, so I'm going to get 19x equals 95. I'm going to divide by 19, and x equals 5. But they do want me to find the measure of angle R. Angle R is 12x minus 3, and now I know x is 5. 12 times 5 minus 3 is 57. Okay. Number 5, UW is bisecting. It's bisecting TUV. If it's bisecting angle TUV, it's cutting it in half. So basically this half is equal to this half. Angle TUW is equal to angle VUW. So those angles are equal to each other. And they told me that this angle right here is 13x minus 5. TUW is 13x minus 5, so I put that in. WUV, which is right next to it, WUV is 7x plus 31. And since it's a bisector, it's being cut in half, those two angles are equal to each other. So 13x minus 5 equals 7x plus 31. I subtract the 7x because they're on different sides. So these equations you should be comfortable doing. Solving for x, now I'm going to add 5. So I have 6x equals 36, and then I just divide by 6, and x is 6. And this one, they just wanted me to find x, so I'm done. And then the last one has to do with a segment. There's no picture, so I'm actually going to draw a picture for it. So P is the midpoint of XY. Let's get my pen. So if I have a segment XY, and P is the midpoint of it, the midpoint is the point in the middle. It cuts it in half. All right, so the left half is equal to the right half. XP is 8x minus 2, and PY is 12x minus 30. So these aren't angles. I'm not setting them equal to 180. These are segments. The segment on the left, 8x minus 2, is equal to the segment on the right, 12x minus 30, because P was the midpoint. So the key word here is midpoint. P was the midpoint. It cuts that segment XY in half. So the left half, 8x minus 2, equals the right half, 12x minus 30. I have x's on two different sides, so I always bring the smaller one over to the bigger side. So I'm keeping a positive number. So I have -2 equals 4x minus 30. Now I'm solving for x, so I'm going to add 30. 28 equals 4x. Divide by 4, x equals 7. Done. Okay, so now that we did those together, hopefully you got the hang of it. Look for keywords or look for things in the picture that you should know. You can certainly use your vocab as you're trying to do those homework problems tonight.